Om. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you, we welcome everyone to the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia, and we are grateful to Swami for blessing us with the opportunity to participate in this Gita Jnana Yajna. We are in the chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, which in the original text, and here in the Gita Vahini, the commentary, we are in chapter 21, and the soft copy is page 95, and the hard copy is page 190, page 96, and hard copy is page 196. So as I said before, that is only by the grace of Swami we are able to participate in Jnana Yajna. Like you get in college, you go take courses, physics, chemistry, biology, and go and get attendance score. Similarly, you do the Gita Yajna in your spiritual bank. Hey, you attended so much at the Gita Yajna. So many bhajan sessions, so many has recording, so many service activities. So all this accumulate your spiritual bank balance. So that is what we talk about. Karma is nothing special. All these accumulated good things we do, whether it is listening to God's words. The Gita, every word is the word of Lord Krishna, which is like a mantra. So, and then bhajans, we sing the glory, and then the service. All these things, that is why it says, as you sow, you reap. All this is the good deeds we have. So you should consider it a blessing, because sometimes we may not be able to do it even if you want to. So we are grateful for that. Now, anyway, so I said we are in chapter 12. We finished up to Shloka 11 in the original text. So, and we are going to be starting 12. But Swami is just briefly last week, what 3 points important said. If you want to have devotion, you should have no hypocrisy. That each one has to verify ourselves. Our thought, word, and deed. What we think and what we say and what we do should be harmony. That means we think good things, say good things, and do good things. We should be consistent, not say one thing and think another thing and do another thing. That's what famous saying Swami used to say, Manasekam, Vachasekam, Karmanyekam, Mahatmanah, great soul one, is same. Manasanyat, Vachasanyat, Karmanyanyat, Duratmanah. Bad person is, there is no other definition. Just he thinks something, says something, and does something. That is a Duratmana, that means an evil person. So all of us, each one of us, to say, I'm really practicing simple Trikarana Shuddhi. In Sanskrit, this is simply called, that is one thing. That is why Swami gave the example of Triveni Sangamam. I said last time also, Prayaga, where all the three rivers merge, Ganga, Yamuna, and the Saraswati. So they are representing devotion, and then service, and then third is the jnana, that is the knowledge. So these three. So in our life also, If you want to attain the goal, you need to have all the three: path of bhakti, path of jnana, and path of service. So those three, then God is pleased. For that, what should we do? Give priority to God. So what Swami says, three things people give priority. What are this last time we said? Dhaneshana, Dareshana, Putreshana. Money, wife or spouse, and children. So that is what these are like three chains which bind people. Always thinking about money, about family, child. There is nothing wrong, but don't be entangled with that. So you should rather give priority to God in your life. This all you take as third or fourth priority. But first priority is only God. So if you want to attain God, if you don't want to have good time, so-called good time, then do that. Dhaneshana, Dareshana, Putreshana. And there are people like Lord Buddha is the greatest example. He gave up his kingdom, palace, beautiful family, all comforts, and went in search of truth. Even as a king, Lakshmana, Sri Rama's brother, he not only left his wife at home. Why? Because he wanted to serve God. That is more important. His own mother and his own kingdom. And most importantly, even sleep. That is dear. Everybody, sleep is very dear to people. He didn't even sleep for so many years. So that is the sacrifice. Only shows your God's love is how much, by how much you sacrifice. Do you give priority to God? You are willing to sacrifice. There are people who sacrifice, like Harishchandra. There are so many examples. He gave up Saint Mirabai. He gave up the kingdom and embraced Lord Krishna. So even if you're not like that, at least give priority. Because if they say, so Swami says, if says like that, people won't come even. Because they want to have some children, marriage for their children, grandkids, or education, some job and promotion, some healthy problem themselves and the family. There is nothing wrong. You can do that because he is our own mother and father. But at the same time, see, what can I do for God? What can I serve? That is the first thing important we should have. And God, even whether you ask or not, He gives. Because mother, if you ask or not, she will provide you what you need. Similarly, here is a divine mother whose love is that of thousands of mothers. Will He give or not give? So, but we need to have that priority to God. That's what Swami says. Don't give the priority to God and integrate there. In that, he says, he was emphasizing, don't give this priority to the external pomp and paraphernalia. Like, it's okay to put namas, this, vibhuti, that's okay, but that external pomp and your outfit, akar robe, going around to so many times around the temple and the thing. So these are all show business, Swami says. More important is purity of the heart. Actually, I heard on incidents, one of the senior Sevadal say in India, Prashant Nilayam, so this man Swami was there. So this man wrote some couple of books, 2 books, and he put in the darshan line to have it blessed by Swami. It nicely wrapped and everything. So he was when Swami came, because he is a good devotee. So then Swami was about to open the wrapper. Then instead of looking at Swami, he was looking around everybody. That means, see, I wrote that, see, whatever went through his mind. Then Swami right away stopped it. He didn't, then he looked at him and said, there are many people can write books. Each person in this darshan line, each one can write a book because everybody has so many experiences. If everybody writes, there would be thousands. So that means don't think that because you wrote you are something special, you are great. Then finally, anyway, Swami taught him the lesson and he opened. So important is how you practice, not show business, but purity. Whereas if you do the follow his word, then he will bless you amazing. This also I heard the story. So Swami goes for darshan, people who know there. So there are many gates, East Gate, the Shavataram Gate, you know that, right? Different gates. One East Gate, Swami doesn't go out much on that. So it was a very crowded thing. So everybody was there. And then this Seva, the chief, he was telling us. So he was there at the gate. Suddenly Swami was trying to come out of it, which is very rare. There was a young man just got out of the bus. He was in front of the Ganesh gate. People who know Prashant, in front of the Ganesh gate you go, and then you go to your room in the East Prashant. So he was going with his suitcase in one hand and a bag in the other hand. So the Swami just straight comes out of the eastern gate. Everybody was wondering what is happening. Why Swami suddenly come out? He comes to this guy and he materializes vibhuti and pours on him. He didn't expect, because he's still the whole night traveled, smelling of sweat and not clean. He didn't even take a bath, so he was shocked Swami would do that. And then he was wait, and again he does like that. Again he gave a ring and put on his finger. So everybody, and then said, Bangaru, child, you are taking good care of your parents. I am very happy. So that was a lesson, not to that only. Everybody, all the Saivadal said, it was a lesson for us. Taking care of parents pleases God. So like how Swami, so those are simple things, but major messages, how you live the life. So this is the important thing. There's right to good give talks or write the message, but how do you live pure life? That is the message Swami gave. So we can continue from that thing, page 196. Bhakti has no relation.
Sairam. Bhakti has no relationship with dress and speech. On the basis of mere raiment and religiosity of expression, we cannot call a person devotee of the Lord. Bhakti is a matter of the inner consciousness, of feeling, rather than external behavior or conduct. Where there is smoke, you can infer there must be fire. But there are some types of fire which do not emit smoke, though there is no smoke which does not originate from the fire. There is a possibility that acts will be done without feeling, but you cannot say that all feeling must be expressed through outer show. Even without pomp and outer show, it is possible to have sincere feeling. The pure feeling is positively harmful to progress if one aspires at all for progress. The question that Arjuna asked drew this further answer. Of course, there are two different types of bhaktas, the Saguna Bhakta and the Nirguna Bhakta. The votary of the formful one, the votary of the formless. Among the devotees, the Artha, or distressed, Artha Arti, the poor, and the Jijnasu, the inquirer, are all eager about the nameful and the formful aspects of Godhead. Just as for every auspicious act, the right foot is placed first, and the right foot of Nirguna Bhakti must be used for the attainment of liberation. That is the all-auspicious. That is to say, the sadhana of the formless Godhead alone gives illumination. Both aspects have value and are indispensable. How long can anyone have one foot inside and the other and another outside? Even if that were possible, of what avail is it? So, Saguna Bhakti has to be adopted as sadhana and Nirguna Bhakti as the goal to be reached. I'm going to stop there. That's a lot of information. So I wanted to do a little bit of a deep dive into that paragraph itself, what Swami is, and Lord Krishna for that matter, is explaining. What I wanted to talk about is a little bit of how each type of devotee, how they express, how they engage in the Saguna Upasana and then the Saguna Bhakti, and then how you get to Nirguna Bhakti. So I want to start with Artra. as we learned in chapter 7, or we learned early on, these are the devotees who were distressed in some sort of agony. So they're really suffering. I remember in Puttaparthi, actually in Darshan, seeing people during Darshan who literally would be crying and just begging Swami to help them. I think there was a family I remember, I think their father was in the hospital, and they were very, very distraught, and he materialized vibhuti to take to the hospital to give to their father. So it starts with this prapati, or this cry for help, basically. Then
That is good. Anyway, let me stop here. That is why we all cry. The other day, Swami was asking, what is Narayana means? We say Narayana. Our Arati, right? Narayana, Narayana, Om Sathya, Narayana. But you don't think. What does Narayana mean? Nobody knows. Nara means water. Ayana means then. So he's there in that ocean. Also, Nara means the people, beings. So he is the basis of all that. So that is the explanation. But Swami said the real water in the eyes you should have is only for God. When you have tears for health, family, or other things, that is not a real good tear. Real tears is that you cry for, like Sri Ramakrishna, Mother, another day is gone, I can't see you. But as I said, he is kind, because you cry, if the child is crying, you will get rid of your thing. But we should come to a stage where we cry for God with agony. I don't experience you still. That is the real Artha. Okay, go ahead. That is Narayana. When we say, think of Narayana, you should think, oh, am I really having tears for you, Lord? Am I really going to cry for you, Lord? Okay, go on.
I always feel it's that time when you fall to your knees, or with that agony, that cry for help.
But it is good though, even Lord Krishna says, Swami says, it is good to ask for help from God than other human beings, like your family, children, or friends, or somebody, because he is the ultimate. He is the one who can do that. It's why, what is the first chapter's name in Bhagavad Gita? Arjuna Vishada Yogam. How can be a Vishada? That means sorrow. Sorrow is a yoga. Yoga means union with God. How can sorrow? He said, always be happy. So this sorrow he has because dharma is not followed. That is what Arjuna had. Similarly, when you have agony that you are not in touch with God, you are in touch with dharma, that is a good thing. That is why it leads finally, the final yoga is 18, moksha sannyasa. Once practiced, he has moksha, liberation, and he has a complete renunciation. But first he started also Arjuna. He was despondent, my God, this is happening. So there is the Vishada Yoga. We all start with this. If people come to God when they are in pain, distress, for many reasons, personal or family or whatever, spiritual hunger, but that is the beginning, but it should not be the end. Go ahead. Second is Artha.
I have a little bit more about
Okay.
Sorry. So another way is self-surrender, and the story of Draupadi, who went in front of the Kaurava court and then had to release her clothing, but then she prayed to Lord Krishna and basically surrendered. Also, Namasmarana, many times when we're in that distraught space, sometimes we chant Om Sai Ram, and that helps. I think a lot of us do that pretty frequently. And we sort of seek a specific attribute of the Lord that can relieve us of any problems, and kind of protect us. So that is Artha. So Artha Arti. This is where the focus of, you focus on God, but you pray for more success or material wealth. So it's a little more goal-oriented. So a lot of people will do pujas specifically for, the new house, or, kids will bring their books whenever there's a Saraswati puja, and you focus on Goddess Saraswati.
With the goal in mind, success.
Yeah.
I want promotion in the job, or I want this, and actually there are many stories. Shirdi Baba Sacharita read so many things. They play the story of there is one Cholkar. Does anybody remember? There is one Cholkar. This guy is in a government job. He's poor, getting so low salary, not able to meet both ends meet. Then he was distressed. He can't support his family. So then suddenly he hears one Harikatha from Das Ganumara. He says, oh, then Shirdi Baba is there. He can take care. He heard, oh, really? Then he right away prays, Baba, if I get, here's an exam. If I pass the exam, get me a permanent job, I will come to Shirdi and I will offer you prasadam to everybody and get your blessings. Is that? And he really has passed the exam. He gets he gets settled. But the problem is such a low salary. He doesn't have enough money to go to Shirdi. Those days, he probably was a peon or something. So he was so distressed. I gave a promise that I will go to Shirdi, but I'm not able to go, what to do, and I have a family to support. Then what does he do? He gives up sugar. I don't know how much you can save. In tea, instead of, he says, from now on, I won't put sugar in my tea. Let me save, maybe a year, I don't know how long he saved. Then he says, okay, now I will go to Shirdi and offer myself. He goes there, and Baba goes there, Baba blesses him, and then he distributes the candy to everybody, all the devotees, prasadam, because he had a blessing by Baba. Then when he was leaving to the guests whose house he was there called Jog, he used to do arati. So he says, oh, for your guest, put a lot of sugar in his tea, Baba says. That man didn't understand. Why Baba is telling him, put a lot of sugar in his tea for the thing. But that man knew. He started crying. That means Baba knew what he sacrificed to come there, to put a lot of sugar in his tea. That is what God sees, what you sacrificed, just even to be able, because that's when we take granted we can go. Swami blessed us with resources, but there are people even to go to these things, for them it is hard. So that is the real Arcadia. They want a promotion job and everything, but you should be grateful to God. That is the important thing. So attitude of gratitude. Okay, proceed.
I was going to say too, another thing is just sort of these specific practices. So people will do a lot of pradukshinas or chant certain mantras. I know, in Puttaparthi especially, a lot of people do a certain number of pradukshinas around Lord Ganesh's idol there.
No, it works. But
it works.
I tell you, not that there's nothing wrong, but don't end there. I remember Harini, my second daughter, before going to getting Harvard, she wanted this number one. She went on going Ganapati Pradakshina. Ganapati, she was used to so much. And then she got it. Then Swami said, yeah, your Ganapati Pradakshina. So Swami also recognized. So it has effects, but don't. Main thing is there is nothing wrong. He says, as his father and mother ask, but don't get tied down to that. Move forward with the pure love for God.
And with that said, that pure love, really you acknowledge the form, the deity that you're focusing on as your provider, as your divine mother and father as well. And then offering, Uncle mentioned attitude of gratitude. You're offering something in gratitude. So maybe bringing prasadam, to a save a project or something like that.
Huh? Arvind, comment? Arvind, go ahead with your comment.
Sairam, Uncle, Sairam, everybody. When this point about crying for God and the different people crying for different things came, I was just reminded of one incident that was shared by a senior brother from the college. So this is in Brindavan, Whitefield Ashram of Swami, where Swami would grant Trai session. Trai session is Swami's own residence, Trai Brindavan. Inside, Swami will call the students and teachers and sit on the jhula and speak to them. It's a very beautiful, intimate session. Everyone looks forward to it. But the most prized thing is the students, 3 or 4 students who get to sit right in the front, get the opportunity of pressing Swami's feet and doing Pad Seva for almost 40 minutes or 1 hour. So everybody would try to be first in the line and get the first token number. So this student was not getting that at all, and he had been struggling and trying a lot to go in the front. When nothing else worked, he decided that he would hide in one place, and as the lines are going, he will rush in and get into the front. And that is what he did. But on the way to Trai Brindavan, the physical training PT teacher who had observed him doing this caught him and put him again back to the end of the lines, telling that don't try to scam in between. So he lost that, and he was sitting at the back in Trai Brindavan. That day, as Swami came walking, before he could sit on the Jula, while standing itself, Swami directly pointed to this boy and told, "Hey, get up, come here, come to the front." He made him come all the way from the back to the front and sit right at his feet. And then Swami asked, "Do you know why I made this boy come front?" And then Swami said, "From so many days, he's been crying for Swami. That is why I made him come front." And everybody was like, "Wow, amazing." Then Swami said this. This is very significant for us. Swami said, "Every day when I come for darshan, everybody is crying," Swami said. Now that seemed a little strange because during darshan we have seen a few people get emotional and cry, but I don't think ever I have seen the whole darshan hall everybody is crying. But Swami said that when I come for darshan, everybody is crying. Then Swami added, "But my eyes fall first on those who are crying for me." And then it made the entire sense. Crying doesn't mean physically crying, but we are all wanting and desiring something. And Swami said that his eyes fall first on those who are crying for him rather than crying for all other material things. So, yes, when we want and ask something, artha, all of us get the opportunity to go close to Swami. But it's a great privilege and a blessing to directly cry for him only because, as he said, his vision first falls on such people. This is the incident I just wanted to share. Thank you.
Yeah, what he was telling Arvind, the Thai session where I was present, because it's a small place and you can accommodate. And there's those students who get the first thing, I'm not joking, even there was a sprint, 100 meters race, people, the fast, they'll be walking, not walking, running so fast, and one trips over, other falls and all that, but they are doing it. So one weekend at Simhan, he was the editor of Sanat Sarji, a very wonderful uncle. So he was telling, it is very bad. Swami, we should stop all these guys, put them. Swami says, no, why are they running? For whom they are running? They are running to get able. They are running for God. So let them run. That is running for God, crying for His good. So I thought he would score indiscipline. This is not, you should run. So Swami says, no, don't stop them. Let them do that. That is the way they are expressing their love. So whatever you do for God, that is good. Okay, proceed. Huh? Oh, Harish is there. Okay, go ahead, Harish.
Saram Uncle, I have a question. In chapter 12, Swami talks about this Saguna and Nirguna, and he says both those bhakti, kinds of bhaktis will lead devotees to me. But then he follows that up with a verse where he says that the Nirguna path is filled with trials and tribulations. What does he mean by that?
Okay. That is why you should go to I wanted to say that, then good, you stimulate. The first question Arjuna asks is, which is better, Nirguna or Saguna? Then Lord Krishna says very clearly, anything, both are good if you keep three things. Complete faith into the path you are taking, keep your mind on me, and you should be ananya. Three things. Keep your mind on me, have absolute faith, and all the time. If you do, it will have it. Then he says, Nirguna path, the thing, you should have three important things. Every one of us will verify. He is going to talk about later. Sanyam Indriyam Gramam. Complete mastery of senses. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they put sugar on his tongue. He didn't even dissolve because he mastered it completely. Whereas for me, there is gulab jam. Somebody says, already I think about salivate. So, complete mastery of the senses. Sarvat, second is, this is all Lord Krishna says in that shloka. Sarvatra samabuddhaya, always equal-minded, never excited, never depressed, always happy, nothing bothers them, no honor, dishonor, profit, loss. And third is sarvabhuta hiterataha. So, means you are looking for the welfare of not all human beings, but all beings. Three things, sanyam indriya grama, sarvatra samabuddhaya, and sarvabhuta hitera. If you have these three qualities, these are the credentials, you are good for nirguna nirakara. Then he says, next sloka is the one Harish is referring. Kleshodhikarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dhikkam deha vyabhita. It says klesha means very difficult. Adhika means very difficult. Adhika tara means very, very, very difficult. Who is saying that? Lord Krishna himself saying, this is very difficult, this path. For whom? For people with body consciousness. So a lot of us have still body consciousness. As we progress and practice, automatically that body consciousness goes, then we will be ready for the nirguna. But in the beginning, that's why he says, this is very difficult for most of the people. Deha vidvyabhyate. People with body consciousness, it is very difficult. And then he gives the various steps, 4 steps last time I told you. This is, first is, next sloka, Harish, read it. Keep your mind and intellect on me completely, then you will live in me. Then next step, you cannot do that. It's very difficult to concentrate. Abhyas, practice. Then you say, no, I can't do that. That is also hard for me. Next step is do my work, like you are working the divine mission, or you work in a temple, clean up, do some work for the organization, God's divine mission. That is the next step. Oh, even that I can't do. I'm so busy at work. Fourth is
Fruits of action.
whatever work you do, sarva karma palatyagam. Dedicate everything to me. Saya arpanamastu, Krishna arpanamastu, Rama arpanamastu. If you do that, then you will come. Because all the people that start, that is how they, even Annamacharya, the great singer, first he says, oh, Venkateshwara ran there. So in the beginning stage, then he says, Parabrahma Mokkate, there is only Parabrahman. He says, because that he took a while for him to revive. First he thought only Venkateshwara is God. Then he realized when he became pure that everything is Brahman, nothing but Brahman. Parabrahma Brahma Mokkate. All people, even Howard Moffat, when he wrote first book, what did he write? Man of Miracles. He thought Swami is just miracle man taking care of the problem. Next one, what did he write? Sai Baba, the avatar. He realized, oh, Swami is not just a miracle man avatar. Then he says, Swami is the end of the goal. He is the ultimate. He is the end of ultimate. Then how do you experience? Fourth book he wrote is inside, go inside, in inner view. So like that, even as each spiritual seeker, as you practice more and more, your path becomes clearer. Then first where you think only Swami is this, you realize all names and forms are his. Then the whole universe, every Vishwam Vishnu, everything is Brahman. That is the ultimate stage, Swami says. And that is the only path. That is why he says, it's beautifully said in this thing. Saguna path is the path, sadhana. Goal is nirguna. So you need to do the saguna so that you reach nirguna. So that is why there is no other path. Jnana devatu kaivalyam. He says, only through jnana you get illumined. And Lord Krishna says, Jnanat Atmaiva me matam. There is no difference between Jnani and me. So we need to aspire, but you don't need to worry about it. First go on practicing, worship this God with name and form, do what he says, purify ourselves. Automatically you will come to see where anywhere you go, whether you go to a mosque, a synagogue. I was in tune with Swami as much when I went to Israel and went to Bethlehem, Nazareth, or Holy Sepulchre, as much as there, because the spiritual vibrations you can fill up all great people. That is the important. You need to feel the divine presence everywhere. Thank you for the comments and question, Harish. Okay. You want to continue? Huh?
Last one.
Yeah, Jijnasu.
So this is where when you focus on the form, but you're more contemplative, and the form really brings you that that it helps your mind not be wavering. So and you read and you learn, but you're learning to understand. The goal is really understanding, and then because that next step will be the jnani step.
Jijnasu is really anchored like this. Who am I? Who am I? Path. First, who am I? What is the purpose of this life? Why am I here? Is it just to eat, drink, and being merry, or reach this state where I find out who I am? And that is the inquiry. Because most of the people don't even inquire that. For that you need God's grace to be able to have that mumukshatva, to know what is the purpose of life. That is also a sign of God's grace. So otherwise we treat a mechanical of eating, drinking, marrying, and then dying again, being born. So this is that jijnasu stage we reach, and automatically when you have that jijnasu, God will show the path. So we don't need to struggle. So we all need to have that thing, and that happens by God's grace only. So that is what it is.
Yeah, one of the things I saw is that the Jidnasu, the path, is actually kind of like a laboratory
Yeah,
for
they try to find.
the Nirguna Bhakti, because there's a lot of self-inquiry, and you do some of these practices, but it's more to understand why you're doing the practices. Like we chant Gayatri Mantra, but it's understanding why we chant Gayatri Mantra and what the meaning of it is as a prayer of enlightenment and illumination. And I think even and kind of acknowledging that God is sort of the ultimate teacher, because the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, I am your disciple. Teach me.
Yeah.
So it's that same concept there.
Because he didn't say, he's his brother-in-law, right? He didn't say, till now he treated him as brother-in-law. They used to joke around, and he is a friend because they have. That is the first time he says, Shishyaste aham shadhimam tvam prapanna. He says, Lord, I am your shishya. Because the different relation between a guru and shishya is implicitly you follow. Shadhimam, command me. I am surrendering. Those three important words. Arjuna says, then only Krishna start the Bhagavad Gita. I am your shishya, I'm surrendering, and you command me, I will follow that. So then you really tread the path. It's very important. Here in connection, Lord Krishna himself, go to Shloka 12, what we are talking about, this is very important. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat, jnanad dhyanam vishishyate, Dhyanat karma phalatyagam, tyaga shantiranantaram. So he has talked about all these things. So he is telling which is better than which. First is you are doing practices, abhyasat, you repeat like sahasranamam, japam, this. But better than that is jnanam. So you should know why you are doing it. Not don't mechanically do this mantra. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. Instead of mechanically doing things, Lord Krishna says, Shreyo jnanam, know why you are doing. You should know the meaning of whatever Rudram you chant or your sahasranamam, japam you do, whatever. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. Then what is next best? Jnanat dhyanam vishishyate. Better than jnanam, knowing all this knowledge, it's good to have dhyanam, contemplative life, just thinking, what is the path? What is it? That is superior to this jnanam. And dhyanat karma palatyagam. Better than jnanam is karma palatyagam. Surrendering the fruits of all your actions is the greatest. Tyagat shantiranantaram. Once you give it up, then you will have the supreme shanti, prashantis. As Jesus said, peace that passeth understanding. And it was bothering the shloka for me a lot of this time. Why is dhyanam is so good, meditation is good? He says, giving up all the thing, then contemplating and reading something, even to have a liberation, I want this, that is itself a bondage. Just do the best and just, do my role, give up everything to you. Thine will be done. Just results are yours. Our role to play the best and give the rest into your hands. That is where sarvaka, once you don't care what happens, the ultimate, once you do the best, then you will get that peace. Most of the thing hankering after the results is the source of all attachment, disappointment, grief. So sarvakala paratyagam, ultimate. So first is better than mechanical doing it is the knowledge why you are doing. Better than that is to have the meditative life. Better than that is giving up sarva karma phalatyaga. Then you will get that supreme peace, shantiranantaram. I think almost time is up. Is there anybody else has any comments or questions? Go ahead, Pravina. Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Sairam, I know it's a little off, not fully related, but I wanted to ask in this context. So actually, when we pray for Swami, Swami knows what Pravina has and what problems. He's omnipresent and omniscient. I don't need to tell him all the list of things, what I don't have, what I need. Instead, just ask to get the clarity of the head when he provides those resources to be thankful and utilize. That's all we're praying is. Praying it's for just for us, but you don't really need to ask anything.
That each one, that is, prayer is nothing but communication between you and God. As you said, He's all-knowing. As I said, mother knows when the baby is hungry, it gives. And Swami is thousands of mothers' love, it doesn't know. But you should have that feeling. In my own family, let me tell you, my mother used to bug Swami like anything, give me vibhuti. He gives the vibhuti packet. No, I want vibhuti which you materialize, not that vibhuti. Giving vibhuti itself is good, she wants. And she gives a sari. This sari. No, I want kanchi silk sari. Why do you give me this regular? Mother is not. But she has that kind of relationship. Swami, we didn't say bad. And she used to write a letter, give it. And my father said, he knows everything. Why do you want to write a letter? Why do you want to bother him? So we were there in the interview together. Me, Haiman, my father. My mother is there also. Swami, my husband says that I should not bother you like this. I shouldn't write letters like you because you knows everything. And he tells like that. That is your way to me, and that is his way. So each one, depending upon how you relate to God, he didn't condemn her that what she is bothering, pestering, and he didn't say that. For him, that is the path. Because he knows God is knowing. For her, that is the path. So each one, if you feel God is knowing, really he knows everything. You don't need to. But you say you want to express that thing, it is okay to do that. That is what I would say.
So I used to get in trouble for the same thing because with interview, my mom and my uncles and everybody would say, just you have to yearn for it. You have to pray for it. And I would say, well, Swami gives me everything. I'm happy. What am I going to do in an interview? I mean, we'll talk, but he knows I talk to him all the time. I got in so much trouble for saying that.
That is why each one, what you feel happy is that we don't need to compare things, but finally we have pure love for God. That is the whole essence of everything.